Hello little champions, I welcome you all to mock test 4 of our NEET Premier League children, and I'm so happy, I'm so glad that I see some of you commenting down under my videos that ma'am, this is the answer. Sometimes you correct them, you have to look into it and things like that. Basically this shows your dedication each and every day, and I'm literally happy for people who were with me throughout this time, okay, who practice mock test 1, mock test 2, mock test 3, and I'm pretty sure that your confidence is definitely getting boosted up because you are giving it a try. Now, because we are covering it topic wise, and obviously when you solve questions of a particular topic, your confidence actually increases a lot. So you should be practicing it. And as a teacher, I'm telling you one more thing, please do not be just limited to these questions. Frame your own questions as well. Whenever you see a paragraph, frame your own questions, see what all type of questions could come. Okay, go randomly in Google, type the topic name and try to do a few more questions. It will be really helpful for you to understand the topic in depth and also see what all questions could come. Yes, and now I'm going ahead. Let's see who all got the answers correct. And one deal. Now, whenever I solve a question, I want you to answer it before I do. Okay, so that is the deal. Let's see who all got it correct. Okay, now which is the most common type of embryo sac in angiosperms, children? You're talking about embryo sac and it's about angiosperms. Fine. First one, tetrasporic with 1 mitotic stage of division, monosporic with 3 sequential mitotic division, monosporic with 2 sequential mitotic division, bisporic with 2 sequential mitotic division. What is a common type of embryo sac? How is embryo sac being formed? That is what's the question. So if you remember the megaspore mother cell, children, it underwent division. Okay, those who got the answer can comment it down. Okay, it underwent division. What type of division, children? 1 megaspore mother cell, just one. Okay, it underwent meiosis, and at the end of meiosis, you know, there are 4 cells that you get. Okay, so in the case of pollen grains, all the 4 were going to make, all this 4 microspores would be making what? 4 pollen grains. But over here things are quite different. When you talk about megaspore, that is this, not all of them are functional. Only one becomes what, children? Functional. So all of them, what do I call them? I call them megaspores. But I only have, children, one functional megaspore. One functional megaspore. Now this functional megaspore will undergo divisions. Okay, will undergo division. Where over here when I say 1, that means monosporic development is happening. Mono means 1. Only one is going to get ahead and undergo the development. Yeah. And now it divides. If this is a cell which has the which has the megaspore, the nucleus is over here. This particular cell, as you see over here, it divides itself. It undergoes mitotic division. It has 2 nuclei. Then this 2 nuclei undergoes second mitotic division. It became 4. Now it undergoes third mitotic division, where this will give you 2, and this will also give me 2. This will give me 2, and this will also give me 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 nuclei being formed at the end. And this whole structure that you see is known as the embryo sac. Now you tell me, how many divisions did it undergo? The first division was this. First mitosis. Okay, this is second mitosis, and this is third mitosis. Okay, so we have 3 mitosis and 1 spore, functional megaspore is there. So this will be what? Monosporic development, children. Okay, with subsequent 3 mitosis happening. So this is the correct answer. Who all got it correct? Do let me know. Do let me know who all got it correct. Okay. Now going ahead, what do we have? Does not go ahead. Yeah. Pollen grains can be stored for several years in liquid nitrogen having a temperature of. What is the temperature at which the pollen grains are stored in liquid nitrogen? Minus 120 degrees Celsius, minus 80 degrees Celsius, minus 196 degrees Celsius, minus 160 degrees Celsius. NEET 2018 question, very direct from your NCERT. Direct line from your NCERT. So I'm writing over here so that you remember. Directly from NCERT. It is minus, ayo, the tick has went down, wait. It is what? Instead of putting tick, I should be putting this, right? This will be more easy for you to understand. Minus 196 degrees Celsius. Okay? Chalo, tell me who all got it correct, and then we will move ahead to the next question that we have. A dioecious flowering plant prevents both. What do you mean by dioecious? What do you mean by dioecious flowering plant? Basically, when there is flowering part, but over here they have one type of flowers in one plant. Okay, this will be a female plant. Now going ahead, they have another type of flowers of the same species, but here they have the stamen instead of having the pistil. So this will be what, children? A male plant. Now in plants like this, they are asking, what does these type of plants prevent? Do they prevent autogamy? What do you mean by autogamy? Autogamy is when I have a flower and there is the pistil over here, there is the anther over here, and the anther will give pollen grains. The pollen grains will land on the stigma over here. So in a same plant, you are getting both the male and the female reproductive system. Okay, they are going to fuse. This is known as autogamy. So in these type of plants, can they do autogamy? No dear. They just have one sex organ. Okay, either female or male. So obviously there is no one to give them. So there is no self-pollination happening. So I can say anyways, autogamy is prevented. Autogamy is prevented. Now going ahead, let's see. What about gytonogamy? What about gytonogamy? What do you mean by gytonogamy? Basically, there is a plant. Okay, there is a plant. I have to make another diagram. There is a plant with flowers over here. Now this flowers can be like this, having both these sex organs, or it can be a case where there is one sex organ on one flower, another sex organ on the other flower, but this is in the same plant. Now when pollen from here travels to another flower of the same plant, children, you call it gytonogamy. For that you need both the sexes in one plant, either in same flower or on different flowers, but on the same plant. Okay, that is what you mean by gytonogamy. Now over here, do you think here stigma can release anything that would land on another stigma? No, nothing could happen. Over here, do you think anther can release something and that will go and land on another anther and do something? No. Do you think gytonogamy can be possible over here? No. So gytonogamy is also prevented. Now there is one more type of pollination that is known as xenogamy. What do you mean by xenogamy? When one flower of one plant and there is another flower of another plant, when it shows pollination, that is known as xenogamy. So they do xenogamy. They do xenogamy, but what about autogamy and gytonogamy? No. So let's see what suits the best. Autogamy and gytonogamy both. First only we have the answer. Gytonogamy and xenogamy. No, xenogamy cannot be prevented. Clistogamy and xenogamy. What do you mean by clistogamy? Basically the flowers, clistogamous flowers are the one that are closed. Okay, that are closed. The flower bud itself is closed and it will have both the male and the female sex organs within this flower. So they have to be compulsorily autogamous. So obviously we are not talking about that. Autogamy and xenogamy, that is also not there. So this is the correct answer, children. Who all got it correct? Let's see who is having much more speed than with which ma'am is solving the question. Okay, so this is clear, I hope. Next question. In majority of angiosperms, egg has a filiform apparatus. There are numerous antipodal cells. Reduction division occurs in the megaspore mother cell. A small central cell is present in the embryo sac. Since, okay, I hope all of my children know the answer for this question. Now just imagine that this is the embryo sac, that is the ovule. Okay, inside the ovule we have the embryo sac. Over here we have one female gamete and we have two synergids. This is synergid, this is a synergid, and this is the female gamete. Now apart from that, if you see, we have three antipodal cells, okay, and then we have two free nuclei, and this free nuclei belongs to the cell over here, this very big cell that you see over here, that is known as a central cell. Now there is something that is known as filiform apparatus, which arises from the synergids. This filiform apparatus helps to guide the pollen grain to come over here and give out its male gametes. Okay, now egg has filiform apparatus. First option is wrong, because egg is this, that is the female gamete. Female gamete is known as egg, right? Does it have a filiform apparatus? No, children. Synergids have filiform apparatus. Second question. There are numerous antipodal cells? No, children. They are fixed. We have just 3 antipodal cells. Okay, we just have 3 antipodal cells. Now reduction division occurs, that let's keep on hold. A small central cell is present in that the embryo sac. Do you think that this is small? I think the other ones are small. This cannot be small. This is the central cell. This is a very big cell. This is the largest cell of the embryo sac. So this is again wrong. Now what you are left with, if you know the structure of embryo sac really well, you can easily answer this question, or else also you should be knowing the answer for this question. That is, reduction division occurs in the megaspore mother cell. Yes, megaspore mother cell, I told you, it undergoes reduction division, which is known as what, children? Meiosis, and at the end you get 4 cells. One is functional, rest all of them degenerates. So this is the correct answer, my darlings. So over here, let me put it like this. Okay, now going ahead. Which one of the following may require pollinators but is genetically similar to autogamy? Okay, which one of them? Basically it's about pollination, and you know there is autogamy, there is geitonogamy, and there is xenogamy. Agree? Now in autogamy, the anther is here, sorry, I didn't make. Okay, the stigma is here, the anther is here, from here to here. Definitely it's not like you definitely need pollinators. Things can happen like that also, but okay. You are saying it requires pollinators for sure. If you talk about geitonogamy, there's one flower over here, there's one flower over here. From here to here, if things has to travel in between the same plant as we studied, obviously you need pollinators. Obviously you need pollinators, so pollinator tick mark. Xenogamy, again this is between one plant, another flower, another flower. So this also need pollinators. But there's a second part of the question which says it is genetically similar to autogamy. What do you mean by autogamy? Self-pollination. Basically, self plants, the parts of the flower which are genetically similar are fusing. Okay, so basically this particular stigma and the pistil and the stamen is both of the same plant on the same flower. Okay, now if I say that this type of flower is there elsewhere in the same plant, don't you think it will be genetically similar itself? Genetically similar. When I say geitonogamy is the one where it is occurring from one flower of the same plant to another flower of the same plant, it is also self-pollination in a way. In a way, it is self-pollination. But I don't say it is self-pollination. I say it cross only because there are 2 flowers involved. But genetically, if I am talking, don't you think it is autogamous? Because the same thing. Okay, it's of the same plant itself. So genetically, this is autogamous, children. So geitonogamy, as you see, it's autogamous. So over here, this is the correct answer. This came in 2015. It is a cancelled question. Okay, going ahead. Which of the following statement is not correct? Let's see which is not correct. Pollen germination and pollen tube growth are regulated by chemical components of pollen interacting with those of the pistil. This is entirely correct. Okay, you know this is the stigma, and the stigma has chotu receptors which you cannot see. Okay, now pollen which comes, if it is of the right type, it also has certain components on its body which go and interacts with this, and this chemical coordination would lead to germination and then formation of the pollen tube later on. So this this is entirely correct. Now some reptiles have also been reported as pollinators in some plant species. Yes, we have lizards, which is a reptile. It is a pollinator, it's a biotic pollinator, so biotic agent, so this is also correct. Pollen grains of many species can germinate on the stigma of a flower, but only one pollen tube of the same species grows into the style. Do you think pollen germination can take place of any species? No, children. For example, this is the pollen, one type of pollen. This is another type of pollen having another type of proteins on its top. Do you think it can bind over here? No. So anyways, interspecific germination is not possible. When it comes interspecific, as in between different species, the germination is definitely not possible. And now the second statement that they have put, only one pollen tube of the same species can grow. It's not like that. Not only one pollen tube. If you get more pollens, there will be multiple pollen tubes as well of the same species I'm talking. The same species. So first statement is wrong. First thing, that many species can germinate. No. Intraspecific germination is not possible. Intraspecific pollination is not possible. And pollination is possible, but the pollen grain won't germinate and form the pollen tube. Second thing, they are saying only one pollen tube can germinate in the style. No, it can be multiple pollen tubes that can germinate. So this entirely is wrong, and this is what we had to find out what is wrong. Now, insects that consume pollen or nectar without bringing about pollination are known as pollen or nectar robbers. That is also correct, children. This came in NEET 2016. So this is the answer which is wrong. This is not correct. Okay. Filiform apparatus is characteristic feature of, you know, I told you filiform apparatus is a characteristic feature of what, children? What is these cells? What are these cells? Sorry. Synergids. Okay. These are synergids. So over here we have synergids. 2015 question. Going ahead. In angiosperms, microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis involve meiosis. What do you mean by microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis? First thing, microsporogenesis, megasporogenesis. What do you mean by that? Microsporogenesis means at the end you need microspores. Okay, which will be forming the pollen grains. Megasporogenesis means at the end you need megaspore, and this megaspore will turn into embryo sac, which is the female gametophyte. This is the male gametophyte, which is going to give rise the male gametes, and over here this is going to rise to give the female gamete. Okay, now this process, as I said, initially you need microspore. I'm writing microspore, mother cell, or you also call it pollen mother cell. Here you need megaspore, I'm writing mega and spore, mother cell. Okay, this will undergo meiosis round 1. Meiosis 1 gives 2 cells. Here also meiosis 1, meiosis has 2 rounds. So it also divides into 2 cells. This 2 cells divide into 2 more cells. This 2 cells divide into 2 more cells. All of them you call it microspore. Together you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you call it microspore tetrad. Microspore tetrad. On the other hand, if you see over here, this cell will divide into 2. This cell will divide into 2. With the help of what, children? Meiosis 2. Here also meiosis 2. At the end you get 4 cells, 3 of them degenerate, 1 becomes functional megaspore and forms. If you see, meiosis is common among all, and meiosis is known as, children, reductional division. Reductional division. Whenever you want to form gametes, you undergo reductional division. Why? Because the other cells that are over here, they are diploid in nature. they have double the amount of chromosomes just like our normal cells. But you think, for example, I always take the example of humans, 23 chromosome each. When it comes together, it becomes 46 and everything is good. But if you are giving your whole 46 chromosome, your other parent is also giving whole 46 chromosome, now there is 92 number of chromosomes in the zygote. That is not okay, because our normal cells has 46 number of chromosomes. So what do? If we half it, we have 23. If we half it, we have 23. And now 23 from father, 23 from mother, 46, and tada, everything is good. Similarly over here, this is diploid. This is diploid. It has to made a haploid over here. So all of them will be N, 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 N. So this is what haploid. Reduction of the number of chromosomes is happening, which is why it is known as reductional division, children. So this is the correct answer, involves meiosis. Occur in the ovule, megasporogenesis will occur in the anther, microsporogenesis will occur. Firm gametes without further division, no, both of them they will undergo further division. So this is the correct answer. Okay, 2015 question. Going ahead, pollen tablets are available in the market for, again straight from your NCERT. Okay, in vitro fertilization, breeding program, supplementing food, ex situ conservation. Now tablets, as you know, it is for ingestion, so obviously it will be for supplementing your food. This is the correct answer, came in 2014, easy 4 marks, right? Going ahead. Question number 10, advantage of cleistogamy is, what do you mean by cleistogamy? I already taught you, but I can still teach you because you are my children. So over here we have the thalamus, and then we have the flower, okay, and this flower will be having the stigma, sorry, I always call it the stigma, it's the pistil, and also the anther. And please remember that this particular flower that you see, it's totally closed. This type of flowers, you call them cleistogamous flowers, where the whole thing is closed. Now if whole thing is closed, obviously pollen from the anther can go land on the stigma. Do you think you need pollinators over here? No, you do not need pollinators. Every time you can assure that anyways pollination will happen from here to here. That means I can expect assured seed set. I can be sure that there will be seeds being produced. No need of pollinators. And what? Genetically similar. Obviously same pollen, same everything, the same plant cell pollination is happening, so genetically it has to be similar. Okay, now over here you see no dependence on pollinators, that is the correct answer. You do not need pollinators. The first statement itself gave you answer if you know this thing. Vivipary, higher genetic variability. Do you think higher genetic variability will be there? No. More vigorous offspring? No, children. Now this is the correct answer. Please give a tick on that 2013 question, and I can give you examples of the same. You have viola, that is common pansy. The same question can be framed in different way. Advantage of viola is, advantage of cleistogamous flowers of viola is. So you can think like that. Okay. Now viola is there, oxalis is there, and commalina is there. Now one very important thing, children, they have two type of flowers. One is this. Okay. On the lower part they will have something like this, but on the upper part they also have exposed flowers. Okay, with anther and stigma exposed, very much exposed, so that others can also come and pollinate them. So that these type of flowers in the same plant, they are known as chasmogamous. Chasmogamous flowers. So the lower part you have this, higher part you have that. Okay, so all these plants have both the flowers. So it's not like always they will show autogamy. The cleistogamous flowers of them will show autogamy, but on the other hand, this can show gytenogamy, xenogamy, autogamy, whatever is there, everything. Okay, going ahead. Wind pollination is common in, this is again given in your NCERT. I wanted to put this up, which is why I put this up. Grasses is the answer. Okay, wind pollination is common in grasses, children. This came in 2011. Direct question. Megaspore are produced from the megaspore mother cell. So if you have seen grasses, just a second, since I didn't explain it all, if you have seen this thing, grasses, no, their structure is kind of different. They have a feathery structure. If you see long grasses putting up there, they have feathery stigma and things like that, such that other pollen grains which go by wind can come and land on them. Okay, so that is one thing. Now, megaspores are produced from the megaspore mother cell after, you know this answer, I have told you. Mitotic division, formation of thick wall, differentiation, meiotic division. I told you always MMC will be producing megaspores, or the other MMC, microspore mother cell, will be also producing microspores with the help of reductional division, which is known as meiotic division. So I am writing over here reductional division. You see how many number of times this question was repeated, this very simple question, because people tend to not give any value to simple things. That is why they give simple questions. This is NEET 2013 question again, okay, Karnataka NEET. Now, wind pollinated flowers, you are talking about their features, okay. What would be the feature? Small, brightly colored, producing large number of pollen grains. Children, brightly colored is not need for wind. What will wind say? Wind will come and see. Wind will come and see the flowers and say, oh, you are not brightly colored, I won't pollinate you. Does it work like that? No, children. So it's for biotic agents, where biotic pollination is happening, where the flowers, insects are coming and animals are coming. They need these brightly colored flowers, okay? Not for them, not for wind pollinated people. Now going ahead, small, producing large number of dry pollens, okay. Flowers, if you talk about them, yes, they are small, okay, these are small and they come together to form an inflorescence. So you can imagine there is a flower like this. There's another flower like this, another flower like this. You call this bunch of flowers together as what, children? Inflorescence. Okay, and one more thing, one major thing that they have mentioned is dry pollen grains. Yes, they have to be dry. Just imagine they are sticky. If they are sticky, they move around like they stick on some place. Do you want that? No, we do not want that. They have to be dry pollen grains. So, small, producing large number of dry pollen grains. Why large number? Again, each statement of this particular thing is very much important. Each word of this particular statement is very much important. Large number because it's wind pollination. We cannot assure the wind can go there, the wind can go here. We should be having number of pollen grains. At least one should go and land on the stigma when we need it to go, right? So, obviously, this is the correct answer. And now, small, obviously, if it is very big, can it move around? No. So that is also one thing. Large, producing abundant nectar and pollen. This is a nectar and all, it's for insects, okay. Small, producing nectar and dry pollen, same for insects only. So this is our answer, children, my dear little champions. I hope that you are getting your answers correct. Okay, so now when I read your things, I will be there in the, whenever you see this video, I will also be watching down your comments and charts like that. If you have seen, I also reply at times, okay. So basically, I will be really happy if you do comment and do let me know that this thing that I am doing is really useful for you, okay. This came in 2010. Going ahead, which of the following statement is correct? And children, for those who are not getting your answers correct, it's okay. It is definitely okay. You can give one more try. You have still time to give tries, and the actual winners are the one who try. You have seen droppers. So many people take drop, right? But still, someday they will get what they want. Why? Because they are very determined that they have to try. They would not live that. This is their ultimate goal. So this should be your ultimate goal. If you think you want to be a doctor, if you have any other multiple plans, then go for that. No problem. But if you think, if you're strong-willed, if I was strong-willed that I wanted to be this thing, this particular in this particular field, I wanted to be a teacher, I will be going forward. Look for that. I will also study just like you are studying. For me to make you understand this thing, don't you think I also have to study all this thing? Yes. So I am doing it. I, as a teacher, am doing it every single day. I also tend to forget things. It happens with me also. I am also a human being. It happens with you also. You might forget things, but it's okay. The next day we have to think like, everything is good. We have to give a try, and every time when we give a try, it feeds in our memory. Some part of it feeds in our memory. Some things we forget, and it's usual also. Okay, but at least it should come to our mind when we see a question that I have seen this somewhere. I know this part of it. I should definitely give it a try. Now you think you're given a question and now you do not know anything about it. You didn't even try it earlier. Okay, any part of it, any one option you're not aware about anything, obviously this would make you demotivated. So which is why I'm saying you have to definitely try. Now, which of the following statement is correct? Sporopollenin can be degraded by enzymes. What do you mean by sporopollenin? That is the first thing, because since it's all about sporopollenin, so please understand, you have, I said, a pollen grain is there. In the pollen grain, children, you have this cell which is known as generative cell. And the funniest part of generative cell it is present inside the cytoplasm of another cell, this very large cell, which you call as vegetative cell. Okay. Now, this cell that you see over here, it is covered by, now obviously it has a plasma membrane over here. Obviously there is a plasma membrane over here, but apart from that, it is covered by another layer which you call as intine, and this intine is made up of pectocellulose, pectin and cellulose. So I write pectocellulose. Okay. Going ahead, there is one more layer. There is one more layer which I am going to make which I am going to make in red. Okay, it's not a continuous layer, there are pores as well, but this layer is exine and it is made up of the most strongest chemical component, which is the sporopollenin. Sporopollenin. Pollenin. You want to put light, you want to put water, you put chemicals, alkali, acids, anything. The sporopollenin would not be desiccated, which is why pollen grains are used as fossils. They stay for so long because of the presence of this small thing that you see over here, that is sporopollenin, and the pores are not as big as I made. Okay, these pores are known as germ pores, children. This is for the pollen tube formation later on. So sporopollenin is something that is very thick component, very good component, which is made up of chemical compounds which let it survive during any sort of conditions. Okay, so we have to see a point where we are saying that sporopollenin is the strongest. So let's see, sporopollenin can be degraded by enzymes. No, it is not strongest. Okay. Sporopollenin is made up of inorganic materials. Again, I am not saying something that is strong and all, but let's keep it there. Sporopollenin can withstand high temperature as well as strong acids and alkali. Everything is good. So this has to be a good point. Next point, sporopollenin can withstand high temperature but not strong acids. Again, makes it a little weak, but sporopollenin can do everything. So basically this is the correct answer that we have. This is also wrong. Okay, children. Karnataka NEET 2013. Going ahead. Unisexuality of flowers prevents. Unisexuality of flowers. What do you mean by unisexuality? I have a flower. And when I say it's unisexual, it just has one reproductive organ, either female or male. Over here I have made the female one. Okay, this is a unisexual flower. Now, what would it prevent? Would it prevent autogamy? Would it prevent autogamy, children? You only think autogamy means what? From the anther to the stigma of the same flower. In the same flower, there is only one female reproductive organ. Where is the male reproductive organ? It's not there. So, will it prevent autogamy? Yes. Autogamy prevented. Next thing, geitonogamy. Geitonogamy as in from one flower to another flower. Now, they have not mentioned about unisexual plant. No, they are not saying that the plant is dioecious, nothing like that. It's saying it is unisexuality of flowers. So, this flower is unisexual. Now, there could be another flower in the same plant which would have the anther. Please remember, this is in the same plant. So, from here to here things can go. So, can I say geitonogamy is not prevented? Because from flower of the same plant, if pollination is happening, you call it geitonogamy, and geitonogamy is definitely not prevented. Now, talking about xenogamy. So, there is a flower like this, another plant has another flower like this, then obviously xenogamy is also possible in unisexual flowers. So, xenogamy not prevented. What is prevented, children? Only autogamy. Now, let's see the option. Geitonogamy but not xenogamy. Autogamy and geitonogamy both no. Autogamy but not gytenogamy, both gytenogamy and xenogamy. The correct answer is this, autogamy but not gytenogamy. We have to talk about autogamy, right? Rest everything is not prevented. So this is the answer. Now this things practice a few more times. This is a tricky part, dioecious, monoecious, things like that. What do you mean by monoecious? Monoecious is when a plant has both the sexes in one particular, a plant has both the sexes, okay? It can be in the same flower or it can be in different flowers like this. That is what you mean by monoecious. And if you're asking in monoecious plant, is autogamy prevented? Yes, autogamy is still prevented, not completely. If the flowers are bisexual, now this is about monoecious, this is monoecious unisexual flowers. What do you mean by monoecious? Basically when you have two sexes. So this is one sex, this is another sex, but this is the same plant. So this is monoecious plant but having unisexual flowers. Now there could be monoecious plants with bisexual flowers. What do you mean by that? Where you have both this thing, that is the stamen, as well as the pistil over here on the same plant. Again you have the same sexes in the same plant, right? Same sexes in the same plant again in this condition also. Here autogamy can be done. But if they are mentioning monoecious and unisexual, that means autogamy would not be possible because the flowers are like this. Please make sure of that. Examples are given in your book, okay? Please go through the examples as well. We have 3 C's and 1 M. Castor, maize, coconut, cucurbit, all of them, they come under monoecious category, whereas papaya and date palm comes under dioecious category. Okay, so I have taken a class for this. Just go and understand it if you are not understanding with the help of your NCERT. Going ahead. 8 nucleated embryo sac is only monosporic, bisporic, tetrasporic, all of this. Only monosporic, children. I told you. Let's go back. Okay, wait. 8, okay. Over here, one functional megaspore was dividing again and again and again like this, dividing again and again to give 8 nuclei. This 8 nuclei that you see over here, it arranged like this, 3 on this side, 3 on this side and 2 over here. 3 plus 3, 6, 7, 8. So it is monosporic. It is monosporic, right? So let's now go back to the question that we were doing. It was 15th question, right? No. We went ahead 16th question. So it will be only monosporic, single functional megaspore. I'll write it over here if you want to remember. Single functional megaspore. 2000 question. Okay, it came in 2000, year 2000. Going ahead. 17. If there are 4 cells in anthers, what will be the number of pollen grains? Tell me. 4 cells in the anthers. This is one cell, this is another cell, this is another cell, and this is another cell. These are the 4 cells that we have in the anther. Now in the anther, if you remember, the anther has a structure which looks like this, 2 lobes, and in between the lobes you have microsporangium, and microsporangium has cells which are known as sporogenous. It is forming sporogenous tissue, all the cells coming together, and each cell of the sporogenous tissue is going to give rise to pollen grains, right? Now over here it's saying that in the anther there are 4 cells. That means basically the situation is like this. There are 4 cells, just one cell, 2 cell, 3 cell and 4 cell. Not talking about any other cells, nothing like that. Just 4 cells are there. 4 of them, okay, 4 of them will obviously give rise to pollen grains, okay. But 4 of them, just imagine they are PMCs, or basically microspore mother cell, okay. Now let me consider one, the first one over here. So the first one is there. It will divide into 2, form 2 cells, meiotic division 1, meiosis 2. So in total we have 4 cells. So one cell is now giving me 4 cells. Similarly, the other cell will also give me 4 cells. Another cell will also give me 4 cells. Another cell will also give me 4 cells. 4 plus 4, 8, 8 plus 4, what children? 12, 12 plus 4, 16. So what is the answer? 16. Okay, so if it's in the anther and you are saying it's a cell, there are 4 cells in the anther. The 4 cells will be undergoing meiosis, okay. Meiosis, assuming that they are PMC or microspore mother cell, okay. They undergo meiosis. At the end of each cycle, you get 4 cells. 4, 4, 4, 4, 16. 1996 question. Okay. Going ahead. Okay. Similar, almost similar. In an angiosperm, how many microspore mother cells are required to produce 100 pollen grains? Question is, you are asked about microspore mother cell, okay, and you are asked about that it is producing how many pollen grains, children? 100. 100 pollen grains are being produced by the microspore mother cell. Now you know each microspore mother cell will be giving rise to 4 pollen grains. Each microspore mother cell will be giving rise to 4 pollen grains. So if I do 100 divided by 4, if we group them into 4 each, we would get 25. So 25 of these cells underwent meiosis. For example, 1 out of 25, this is one cell, first cell. Division, division, you have 4 cells from one cell, which is why I divided by 4. Okay, you get 4 pollen grains by one cell. So 100 divided by 4, if I want to clump them into 4 category, I get 25. So 25 megaspore mother cells will be there, children, over here. Okay, got it? I hope you got it. Okay, similarly, yeah, you can do your own calculation like that. So if it was mentioned 20 pollen grains, how many mother cells were there? So 20 divided by 4 is what, children? 5. So 5 cells are there. If you are not sure about that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Divide. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Over here again divide. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you can imagine that these many cells would be more produced over here. So again, if you want this division, I can show you. 1, 2, 1, 2. Similarly over here, 1, 2, and then again 1, 2, 1, 2. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then 4 more from this cell. So 20. Okay, this is how you have to calculate. Going ahead, I hope you got this answer. Yeah. Now, double fertilization is exhibited by only angiosperms, children. Only angiosperms. What do you mean by double fertilization? And what are angiosperms, children? Angiosperms are flowering plants. So only flowering plants will be showing this drama. No one else can do that. And what do you mean by this thing, double fertilization? Basically, if I assume that this is the ovule, the embryo sac, and we have 2 cells over here, that is the synergids, okay, and we have 3 cells over here, that is the antipodals, and you have 2 free nuclei over here, which is the part of the central cell, and I have the female gamete over here, yeah, and the synergid is having filiform apparatus, okay, and the pollen tube is coming. The pollen tube basically carries 2 male gametes. It comes to the synergids first. It comes to the synergids first and degenerates it. Basically, when the time by it comes, the synergid gets degenerated. So basically, this pollen tube is entering degenerated synergid. It is giving the male gametes. One male gamete will fuse with the female gamete. Male gamete fuses with female gamete. What do you get, children? You get zygote. This is known as syngamy. This is known as syngamy or fertilization. That is the first fertilization happening. Second male gamete is also there. This male gamete comes and fuses with them. 1, 2, 3 nuclei are all there now. Okay. So the next male gamete fuses with 2 polar nuclei. Okay. And you form something that is known as primary endosperm nucleus. Primary endosperm nucleus, or basically this nucleus is a part of the cell which is primary endosperm cell, which is going to form the endosperm. This process is known as triple fusion. Why? Because 3 nuclei are fusing together. Now since fertilization is happening twice, you can say fusion is happening twice, I call this and this together as double fertilization, children, and this happens in the case of angiosperms. What will happen to this particular cell? It will form the endosperm. What is endosperm, children? Endosperm is the one that will provide nourishment to the growing zygote. Okay, done. Going ahead, 20th question, 10 more are there. Generative cell was destroyed by laser, but a normal pollen tube was still formed because of. So I told you in the pollen grain there is a generative cell over here, and there is a vegetative cell in the cytoplasm of which this particular generative cell is floating, right? So it is saying that generative cell was destroyed. This particular cell which you see, it was destroyed, okay, but still normal pollen tube was formed. Why? Because if you remember, there are layers around it, and this vegetative cell is the one that is going to form the pollen tube. This vegetative cell is the one that is going to form the pollen tube, and this vegetative cell is not damaged, pollen tubes can still be formed, okay. So vegetative cell is not damaged, that is the correct answer. Contents of the killed generative cell stimulate, no. Laser beam stimulates growth of pollen tube, no. The region of the emergence of pollen tube is not harmed, no. This is the correct answer. Vegetative cell is the one that forms the pollen tube. Write it somewhere. Vegetative cell forms pollen tube. Okay, 1989 question. Going ahead. Female gametophyte of angiosperm is represented by female gametophyte. Gametophytes are the one which would give rise to gametes later on. So it's the embryo sac, children. This thing, the whole thing that you see over here, this is known as embryo sac. As I said, one functional megaspore divides and forms the embryo sac. In the embryo sac, this whole cells are being divided, and later the female gamete is being formed. So this is the gametophyte. This is the female gametophyte. Gametophyte is in the one that produces the gametes. So over here it is the embryo sac. Inside the ovule, the embryo sac is present. So please don't go write ovule. The correct answer for this is embryo sac. Inside the ovule, all this thing is happening, but embryo sac is the correct answer because it's that cell that is now going to form the gametes. Okay. Next, coconut water from a tender coconut is what? So basically what happens, my dear little champions, is that I told you the zygote is formed by one division, and this zygote needs to form an embryo. This zygote develops into an embryo, but for this development you need something which is known as endosperm. Okay, and how does endosperm form? I told you there is primary endosperm cell. I will write it for you. Primary endosperm cell. Okay, that is this. For example, just imagine, and this is the primary endosperm nucleus, which is triploid because it is made by the fusion of 3 nuclei. So it is triploid. This nucleus undergoes division, mitotic one. It undergoes divisions, lots and lots of divisions, such that there will be so many nuclei being formed, and you call this as free nuclear endosperm. This is the stage of endosperm formation. You call it free nuclear endosperm, where the nucleus is freely lying over there. And then slowly what will happen? The cell's structure will be formed around it. Cell wall and everything will be formed around it, and you call this process cellularization. It is becoming a cell, and you call this layer as cellular endosperm, children. What do you call it? You call it cellular endosperm. Fine. Now I am telling you, in the case of coconut, if we see coconut, okay, over here there is a white thing that we all like to eat, mostly we all like to eat, and there is the water over here. This water is basically consisting of free nuclear endosperm. It just has the nuclear endosperm over there. You cannot see it, but it's like that. It is the free nuclear endosperm. And this thing that you see, the white color thing that you eat, is cellular endosperm. Now, the embryo, if it's there, usually we take it, we do not allow the formation of embryo and things like that, but usually things can happen and there can be formation of embryo as well, which gets nourishment from the cellular endosperm. Okay, and in some coconut, if you shake also, there won't be any noise. Why? Because all the free nuclear endosperm turns into what? Cellular endosperm. So coconut water from the tender coconut is, children, free nuclear endosperm. This is also directly from your NCERT 2015 question. Okay. Next, 23. What is the fate of the male gametes discharged in the synergids? What is the fate of the male gamete discharged in the synergids? I told you over here. Where is it? One is going to fuse with the female gamete, female gamete forms zygote. Another one which is there in the synergid, it fuses with over here with the two polar nuclei. That's when you get primary endosperm cell or primary, and the nucleus which is there is known as primary endosperm nucleus, which is known as triple fusion. The whole process is known as triple fusion. So you only see over here and tell me the answer. One fuses with the egg and other fuses with the central cell nuclei. Yes, one fuses with the egg and this is known as syngamy. And the other one fuses with the central cell nuclei. This is known as triple fusion because 3 nuclei are fusing. But let's see if there are other points as well. One fuses with egg, other degenerates in the synergid. No, children. All fuse with the egg. No. One fuses with the egg and other fuse with the synergid nucleus. No. So this is the correct answer that we are having, my dear little champions. Let me know if you got it correct. This is 2019 question, very easy question, right? Wish this question came this year. So my children could have got marks. But yes, my children are very big champions, so obviously you will get good score. Albuminous seeds store their reserve food mainly in. What do you mean by albuminous seeds? So basically in some seed, okay, so after fertilization, this ovule is now known as a seed. Ovule, where all this thing is happening, you now call it as, so fertilized ovule, after fertilization you call this as a seed, right? You had the embryo sac and everything, and now the zygote is being formed. Now the zygote is formed, which is going to form the embryo, and you have the endosperm. You have the endosperm, right? So what happens is that during embryo formation, endosperm is taken up. Endosperm is fully taken up by some seeds, whereas in some seeds the endosperm is not fully taken up. So this is taken up, this is not taken up. Okay, so you have a persistent endosperm there, little amount of endosperm there. You call these seeds as albuminous seeds, which has persistent endosperm. The endosperm is still persisting. You also call it endospermic seed. And when I say endosperm is persisting, that means the embryo is not storing things in itself. So there's a thing, I'll tell you once more. Okay, listen to me very carefully. I am the embryo. Okay, there is endosperm around me, and I took all the endosperm to store food in myself. So I am storing things in the formation of something else, which I call it as cotyledon. Which I call as what? Cotyledon. So there are certain embryo in which you have 2 cotyledons. Okay, just imagine this is a head, this is a leg, and this is the cotyledons. You call them as dicots, dicotyledonous plants, where the green part over here, it will give rise to a plant. Okay, the shoot of the plant, the green part over here will give rise to the roots, and this is the stored form of food which they got from the endosperm. Now they are dicotyledonous plants and they are non-albuminous. They do not have endosperm left. They took it and formed the cotyledons over here. They are non-albuminous. So examples of dicots, wherever you can break into 2 parts, for example pea, gram, everything comes under this category. So they are all dicots, and this thing that you see is known as cotyledon. Okay, now when I talk about them, albuminous seed, over here they are not utilizing everything for the formation of cotyledon. Instead, they just have one cotyledon. This cotyledon has a name as well, you call it scutellum. Scutellum. There is only one cotyledon, and they also have little amount of endosperm left back. Okay, there is a persistent amount of endosperm as well, and you call them monocots. Example of monocots, the things that you cannot, seeds that you cannot break into 2. For example, wheat, maize, rice, barley, castor, everything comes under this category. Okay, so now albuminous seeds store their reserve food mainly in what, children? Endosperm, because they still have endosperm. The second category is cotyledon, but here endosperm is playing the major role. If the question was non-albuminous seeds store their reserve food in cotyledon. So this is the answer for this. Came in the year 2013, Karnataka NEET. Okay. Now next question that we have is, tegmen develops from, what is tegmen? What is tegmen? So ovule, initially, no, before all this thing, fertilization, everything happened, it had 2 integuments. two integuments. But now, after fertilization, the ovule has changed. It's not the same friend that you had anymore. So now there is an ovule, there's an inner layer over here which provides protection, and this layer is known as tegumen. Okay, and there is a outer layer over here which will be known as testa. Okay, tegumen is the inner layer. Here also you have inner integument. So inner integument is the one that gives rise to tegumen, and outer integument is the one that gives rise to what, children? Testa. So inner integument got the correct answer. This is the correct answer. 1990 question, easy question. Okay, going ahead. Apomictic embryos in citrus arise from. Apomictic, what do you mean by apomixis? If you remember, children, apomixis is where you are forming the seed without fertilization. That is something new. How can you form the seed without fertilization? Seed will only occur if fertilization is happening, embryo is formed, that's when seed occur. But this case is kind of different. Over here in apomixis, there are two situations. One is the female gamete, when it was formed, I told you it usually undergoes something that is known as what? Meiotic division, and now all of them are haploid. All the cells that you see over here are haploid in nature. But there was no meiotic division that was happening, since because of that, these female gamete that you see over here, they came out to be diploid. Now this is already diploid. Usually what happens, haploid sperm comes, haploid male female gamete comes, both forms diploid embryo, zygote, right? Now over here you already have diploid cell. This diploid cell will undergo division and then form the whole embryo. So basically this particular, if embryo is forming, basically this ovule is now, the ovule which is there, it is now converting into what? A seed. This is one type of apomixis. Now there is one more type where again you have ovule, you have embryo sac inside, and in the ovule you have certain cells which you had previously before the starting of everything. I told you in males there is sporogenous tissue, which in that one cell becomes, so all the cells are responsible for formation of, all the cells are acting as a microspore mother cell, and all of them will be giving rise to microspores. But over here what is happening, in the nucellus, this is a cell of a nucellus, only one usually divides and forms the acts as a megaspore mother cell, and that is the one that will be forming the one functional megaspore. But the cells of the nucellus, they are still persisting, and the cell slowly tries to get inside the embryo sac. It tries to get inside the embryo sac in a way that you get all the cells that gets inside is now going to form an embryo. So this condition where you are getting multiple embryo, you call it polyembryony. You call it polyembryony, and this is seen in citrus fruits and also in mango. Okay, so you have the embryo sac already being formed, the nucellus is still persisting, and the cells of the nucellus are getting inside the embryo sac and forming embryo there. This is something very different. Now it will transform into a seed without even fertilization. Without fertilization, all this thing has happened. Okay, now you tell me, apomictic embryos in citrus arise from synergids, maternal sporophytic tissue in the ovule, antipodal cells, diploid egg. Diploid egg, that is there, but it is not for citrus fruit. For citrus and mango, this is the type where the cells of the nucellus are getting inside and forming all this thing. Okay, so maternal sporophytic tissue in the ovule, that is the answer. So this is the sporophytic tissue. This is the sporophytic tissue, because this is the one that forms megaspore mother cell, which will now undergo division and form the megaspore. Usually one cell among them in the sporophytic tissue is going to form like that. But over here you have a name for the sporophytic tissue, that is nucellus, and this is the answer. So they have just twisted the question. This is the correct answer. I hope you got it. Okay. So apomixis happens in diploid egg with the help of diploid egg also, that is different. Talking about citrus, so citrus for this is the correct answer. Okay. Going ahead, nucellar embryo is, tell me, same thing. Nucellar embryo, that is, see, the nucellus is forming the embryo. they will be amphimictic haploid. You don't need to know amphimictic thing. So let's cross. Apomictic haploid, apomictic diploid. Haploid or diploid, you tell me. Nucleus cells, MMC, all of them, they are diploid children. They are 2n in nature. Later when they undergo meiosis, they become n, right? So obviously the cells that are arising from this will also be diploid. So it will be what, children? Apomictic diploid. 1989 question. 27th question, and now we have 3 more. Let's see. Seed formation without fertilization in flowering plants involves the process of, you know the answer, it is known as apomixis. And now if you are saying, if the question is fruit formation without fertilization, what will be the answer for this? It will be known as parthenocarpy, children. Parthenocarpy, where the ovary turns into a fruit. This happens in certain plants like banana. Seedless, where obviously fruit is forming without fertilization, there won't be seed, because this is the ovary, this is the ovule. Inside this, if fertilization everything happens, then this converts into a seed, and this converts into what? A fruit. The ovary converts into a fruit. But as of now, this is not getting converted into seed because fertilization has not taken place. But still this guy is making a fruit. So obviously, can you expect a seed inside? No seed. Banana is formed like that. We can put auxin and things like that, auxin hormone, which can induce parthenocarpy. Now, it was NEET 2016 question. 2 plants can be conclusively said to belong to same species. Okay, 2 plants, if they are there, and I can say that they belong to same species if have more than 90% of similar genes. Me and a mice can also have more than 90% of similar genes. Do you know that? Me and a monkey can also have more than 90% of similar genes. We are different still with the 3% that we are, the change that we are having. So next question. So this is wrong. Look similar and possess identical secondary metabolites. People say, okay, so it's the same 2 plants that are obviously all the plants, if you see, they look the same only. Can you say like that? No. So this is again wrong. Have same number of chromosomes. No, there can be some mutations happening or some problems happening, okay, while reproduction cycle is taking place. So in that case, the chromosome number could be different, which is why we also get diseases. Similarly, plants can get diseases. So this is wrong. Can reproduce freely with each other and form seeds. This is the correct answer. If only they are same in nature, then only the stigma, if you remember, will accept the pollen. Do you remember the receptor and everything? Things can happen, pollen germination and pollen tube formation can happen. So this is the correct answer, children. This came in 2007. I hope you understood this. Yeah? Last question, my dear champions, and this is nothing from where we studied. This is an extra question that I saw, and it intrigued me that I have to put it because you should be knowing it. Anthesis is a phenomenon which refers to. Now, anthesis, when you listen to that, you feel that there has to be something to do with anther. So, dehiscence of anther, formation of anther is that thing, right? So, let's see what's the correct answer. Reception of pollen by the stigma? No. Formation of pollen? No. Development of anther? No. Opening of a flower bed? This is the correct answer. Write it somewhere, wherever you have made notes for sexual reproduction in flowering plants, write it somewhere. Anthesis is basically opening of flower bud. This came in 2004. Okay. So this was the 30th question, and 30th question was unique for you guys. Now do let me know how many of you got really good marks, you were able to do good, how many of you were not able to do good, but you're still very much confident that you will do it next time. So please type it down there that I will do it next time, ma'am. I'll tell you marks. I'll tell you my marks. Okay. So basically that's a thing that should be coming, even though if you do not tell me, I do not want anything like that. I just want you to study well. Please do that. That's more than enough for me as a teacher. So that's all, children. If you think that this particular video was helpful for you, then do not forget to subscribe to our channel, that is Diksha Karnataka. And I wish that you all have a pleasant Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.